Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey,
Hey, guys.
and the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 Cents.
What up?
And joining us tonight is special guest, the Lord of Prose, Chat-Mort.
I am also here.
Indeed. And I am your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone has had a good week so far and is looking forward to a good weekend. Diameter, for those of you that know what that means, and the special and awesome ones of you do. How is everyone else tonight? How are you, Satsu?
I am good. It is hot as fuck in my house, and I'm dying slowly, but good.
Okay. Monkey, how are you doing?
Wonderful, dude. Just wonderful. How you doing tonight?
I can hear it in your voice. Yeah, it's true. I am doing all right. The temperature was actually pretty comfortable today. That's been my major concern the last 2 weeks, is just how uncomfortable life has been when I can't feel comfortable or I can't breathe correctly. So it's nice that things have kind of evened out again. And how are you? Do you prefer Shat, or are you okay with Michelle?
I really don't care. Either way is fine.
Oh,
and I'm good, honestly. I'm pretty good.
good. So for those amongst the audience who do not know who you are or what you do, who are you and what do you do?
I am Michelle, and I run a very small sort of political commentary channel, kind of cultural commentary. Sometimes I talk about video games and anime. Usually it's just a bunch of incoherent nonsense, but I try to keep it entertaining.
Yes, anime. I'm sure that we will have absolutely no discussions between you and Satsu or questions from the audience about anime in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, if you are not familiar with Michelle's work, link to her channel is in the description below, along with her Twitter. So go check her out after the stream. And if you like what you see, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let's see. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Click that like button if you have not already, and a good 3/4 of you have not so far. And please share our stuff. I hope to have something new out this weekend, but I'll talk about that at YouTube time. And I know Satsu's always has stuff out. And I know that Michelle has something out in the last day or two about the New Mexico compound situation, which was all sorts of fun.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we have a birthday.
Well, you did mean to interrupt.
No, I didn't mean to.
Well, okay.
It was accidental.
Whose birthday is it?
Well, actually, it's kind of a neat thing. Jonathan Peterson in chat says, "Scribbles, the doctors guaranteed I wouldn't live day one. Today is my 32nd birthday."
Oh,
sing your craziest song, Monkey. Dude, I'm glad to hear you beat the pessimistic doctor's odds. That's awesome.
That's great.
And in that vein, Jonathan, I know you're out there because you just sent that to us. So I hope you're still listening. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
This is why I hate doctors.
Happy birthday to you.
They so full of shit.
Happy birthday, dear Jonathan.
Dear Survivor.
You send them letters every year like, fuck you, dude.
Happy birthday to you.
I would do that.
Happy birthday, dude. I'm glad you lived, and I hope you had a really great day today.
Is "Living on a Prayer" your favorite song, Jonathan?
I would imagine.
Well, let's see. Do we have anything else to mention and or discuss and or plug before we get into the schnuzz?
Nah, bruh.
Just remember to come join us on 2 Cents Plus after this stream, about 15 minutes after, to watch me and Satsu blow shit up.
Right. Michelle, anything?
Not particularly, no.
All right. Well, then let's get into it. This was breaking news just a little bit ago. Or I should say exclusive news, maybe, because CNN calls this their exclusive. A bomb that killed 40 children in Yemen was supplied by the U.S.
Like direct delivery, or we gave it to somebody who used it?
Yeah, not direct delivery.
Okay.
The bomb used by the Saudi-led coalition in a devastating attack on a school bus in Yemen was sold as part of a U.S. State Department sanctioned arm deals with Saudi Arabia. I guess it was direct, relatively speaking. Working with local Yemeni journalists and munitions experts, CNN has established that the weapon that left dozens of children dead on August 9th was a 500-pound laser-guided Mk-82 bomb made by Lockheed Martin, one of the top U.S. defense contractors. And thank you, Mashisu. How many of you agree with me that Scribe would look adorable in a cobalt blue tutu?
I've seen Scribe. I think he would look beautiful in any tutu.
Okay.
Out there.
Circus Zero, thank you. Because I skipped the ad so I could to the stream.
Gesundheit.
I skipped the... I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's like ADD, so I could get to the stream. I might need a translation on that. But thank you, Circus Zero. Let's see. The bomb is very similar to the one that wreaked devastation in an attack on a funeral hall in Yemen in October 2016, in which 155 people were killed and hundreds more wounded. The Saudi coalition blamed, quote, incorrect information for that strike, admitted it was a mistake, and took responsibility.
Wait, they accidentally blew up a funeral home?
Yes, a funeral hall.
And, sorry. Yeah.
So 155 people were killed in that, and now they blew up a school bus full of children. In March of that year, a strike on a Yemeni market, this time reportedly by a U.S.-supplied precision-guided Mk-84 bomb, killed 97 people. In the aftermath of the funeral hall attack, former U.S. President Barack Obama banned the sale of precision-guided military technology to Saudi Arabia over, quote, human rights concerns. So this must have been one in their stockpile, I suppose. Let's see. Circuit Zero says, to get to and add. Because I skipped the ad, so I could get to the stream. Because I skipped. What ad? I'm missing something. I apologize.
He skipped the ad at the beginning of the stream so he could get here. So he's giving you money to make up for what you would lose for the ad.
I don't even think about ad revenue with my videos. That it just doesn't even occur to me to make that connection. Because when I think ad now, I think of like the ads I used to do.
Well, that donation was about 200 times what he would have gotten. If you
even if you had let the ad, I probably would have. I would have been able to buy that. Quarter-ounce stick of gum I always wanted with the way that YouTube works now. But anyway, there's not much more to the story than that. I just find it interesting that I hadn't heard any of those other stories before. And it's not to say that they weren't reported, just that they didn't make the news, I guess, as much. That Saudi Arabia's been blowing up innocent people with our bombs for the last 4 or 5 years. But then, such is the way of things, I guess. I don't know.
Science.
Yeah. Now onto the story on which the title of the stream is based. So this story is ridiculously horrific and tragic, but it falls into a category of stories that I find morbidly fascinating. And that is the category of, murders and things that are called Crocodile Tears stories. Now, if you guys know who Susan Smith was, Susan Smith back in the 90s was a woman who, cried wolf, saying that a man had broken into her car and carjacked her and taken her 2 kids with her, and she didn't know where they were. And there was this national manhunt for this black man in a cap that had stolen her children from her, when in fact she had drowned her children in that car in a pond somewhere, and then cried in front of the cameras, wishing for her children to come back.
Okay, I remember that.
Yeah, Crocodile Tears stories. It's bad enough that these things actually happen, but when you add in the component of somebody standing in front of the public lying to the faces of everyone and trying to sound like the sympathetic, victim or whatever else. I'm just like I say, morbidly fascinated by the psychology that makes someone think they can get away with it in that way. And we have a story like this that happened the last couple of days. And I've seen the raw video of the interview the guy gave about 24 hours before he was cornered, I suppose, and had to confess to what he did. So anyway, I'll read this. Colorado husband arrested in murder of wife. Daughters had financial struggles. The couple seemed to be in domestic bliss, but now family of Chris and, I know I'm going to mispronounce her name, but it's Shannon Watts are left to wonder if he's capable of killing her and their children. Well, he is, because he did. On social media, Chris and Shannon Watts were a smiling, picture-perfect couple from suburban Denver. They went on oceanfront vacations, cheered for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and doted on their 2 young daughters, Bella, 4, and Celeste, 3, while preparing their home for a 3rd child, a boy they plan to name Nico. In an Instagram post from November, Shannon Watts gushed over her husband for their 5th anniversary. Quote, "Chris, these have been the best years of my life. Our love just grows strong every day. We have 2 beautiful little girls that call us mommy and daddy." In May, she posted on Facebook that, quote, "I love this man. He's my rock," eliciting a response from a friend that said, "He is amazing. So glad you 2 found each other." But the facade of a loving husband and dutiful dad was shattered Thursday when Chris Watts, 33, was arrested in connection with the deaths of his 34-year-old wife and their children, who had been reported missing 3 days earlier. It was an unexpected turn from earlier interviews outside of his Frederick, Colorado home, where Chris Watts pleaded for their safe return, at one point telling reporters, quote, "I just want them home so bad." The Colorado Bureau of Investigation said the mother and 2 girls were killed Monday in the home, and Shanann Watts' body was later discovered on the property of an oil and natural gas company that Chris Watts had worked for. They also, quote, "have strong reason to believe 2 other bodies recovered are those of the daughters." The unborn child does not qualify as a human due to the age of the fetus, so he will not be charged with a 4th murder. There's not much more to say about this. I mean, there's apparently they had about $70,000 worth of debt, mainly from student loans and retail purchases. So obviously, when you're in 70 grand in debt, the first thing you do is murder your entire family.
Well, that's what I was always taught.
Yeah. Now I didn't, in combination with the first story, which kind of happened right before the stream started. I didn't mean to bring everybody down with this stuff, but I'm always, like I said, I always find it really. There's a whole documentary if you look up on YouTube after the stream, guys. I just put in like a Crocodile, Tears, and like True Crime or something. There's a couple of documentaries about stories like this, and I watched the video of him after he'd already confessed. So it's really interesting to like look this guy in the face when he's answering the reporter's questions, knowing what horrors he has just done, and just seeing how calm and collected and sounding like he's sad, but with completely dry tear ducts, And that's, yeah. Anyway, I only bring that up because I find it interesting. I'm not sure anybody else does, but,
It's a weird phenomenon. It seems to be happening more and more as my life goes on. Because, yeah, we had Susan Smith. Who was the other one? The dude in, was it Colorado, California? Scott Peterson? Is that his name?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Lacey Peterson, Scott Peterson. Yeah, you got Susan Smith, Scott Peterson was one. There was one where, God, what was that kid's name? I think it was in like New Zealand or something. Some kid killed his entire family. He was like 18 or something, or 17, because they were very strict. And then he made the scene look like it was a racially motivated gang murder or something. And then he tried to leverage his quote unquote celebrity to get a singing contract or something.
That's horrifying.
Nice.
The kid was not, he sang at the funeral, and it was, there's video of this, and it's so creepy and awkward. He suddenly breaks out a song like, "I want to sing my father this song," and right up on the podium he starts singing like he's trying to be auditioning for something. It's just, nuts. And so anyway, yeah, the people that do this kind of thing are amazing. Not in a good way, but it just fascinates me. Anyway, thank you, Chaos Eve. All right, now we're talking another quality guest. Hey, Chat-Mort, don't let these boys talk over you, hun.
Aw, thanks.
Like we would do that. I only talk over Scribe, thank you.
Yeah, no shit.
Whine about it, I'm not going to stop.
I know.
That kind of thing really is interesting, though. Like, when people tend to make really compelling, really believable, like, pleas to the public for any kind of information or any kind of answers on their missing or deceased family members, like, are they channeling their guilt and their horror into that? That's always, it's disturbing, but it is really fascinating how people who have done something that atrocious can seem so compelling in their, you know, in their grief.
Yeah, I think it's just a reflection of just how inherently cold-blooded they are, you know. And I've always found, this is why I sort of like read true crime, and I'm interested in like serial killers and stuff, not because I idolize them or anything, but just because I've always been fascinated with the human ability to commit just pure evil acts and still be like walking around and functioning in society, unbeknownst to others until they're caught, kind of thing. And one more sort of personal plug on this subject for those of you that are also morbidly curious about such things. If you ever want to see a police interrogation play out like a TV drama, all by itself, uncut, look up Russell Williams' interrogation. It's about an hour and a half long or something, at least all the video put together. And I won't tell you much more than that if you don't already know about the case, but just watching that video, the police detective, the interrogator in that is one of the finest police officers I have ever seen in action in that capacity. That's all I got to say. And I've watched a lot of interrogations for reasons you don't need to know about. But anyway, that aside, let's get back into the rest of the world's news that we also care about so much. Do you guys like Trump?
Sure.
Define like Trump. Because you're going to get us in trouble if I say, yeah, I like Trump.
Do you enjoy stories involving Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well, 60 ex-CIA officials tell Trump, quote, the country will be weakened, unquote, if a political litmus test is applied to experts.
Excuse me?
What the fuck are they talking about?
I don't know, given the fact that removing someone's security clearance from a job they no longer hold isn't a political litmus test for anything. I'm still trying to grapple with this notion of something that is admittedly an accomplishment and sort of a extension of trust from one's government and country to your service that you're no longer using actively, being taken away from you, is thus some horrible slight upon your person.
Yes.
I that part I don't get. I can understand how you could take it as an insult. Don't get me wrong.
Sure, it was meant to be an insult.
It was meant to be an insult. Do I think it's petty on the president's part to do so? To a certain extent, yes. At the same time, it is a harmless petty, save for your ego, so far as I can tell. But let's see if the story says otherwise. 60 former CIA officials warned President Donald Trump in a statement on Friday that, quote, the country will be weakened if there is a political litmus test applied before seasoned experts are allowed to share their views, unquote. What?
They're still allowed. He's allowed to share his views. What he's not allowed to do is share his views based on sensitive information. You can't look at that stuff anymore, John. Sorry.
The letter, which comes after Trump's decision to revoke former CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance, was signed by former CIA officials who served under both Republican and Democratic administrations in positions such as analysts, senior analysts, and officers. It adds to a growing outcry against the president's recent action and comes after more than a dozen former senior intelligence officials denounced the move as ill-considered and unprecedented in a separate statement. Quote, all of us believe it is critical to protect classified information from unauthorized disclosure, reads the statement from the former CIA officials. But we believe equally strongly that former government officials have the right to express their unclassified views on what they see as critical national security issues without fear of being punished for doing so. How is this a punishment? That's the part I don't. I mean, I'm happy to have somebody explain to me how this is actually harmful beyond simply a personal slight, because
Yeah.
Brennan's not disallowed from speaking. Go ahead, Michelle. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Adam Mangold. I'm beginning to think they think Brennan is still in charge of the CIA. Well, that you would almost think that. And thank you, Meshisu. This is directed to Chat-Mort. 1, is cereal soup?
I don't like to think about that question. It makes me uncomfortable.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sure you're very comfortable with this next one. What are your thoughts on tongue-buttering turtle caves?
If that's your thing, I take a libertarian stance on that matter. Just whatever you want to do.
Are you running for office?
No, I'm not. But if I was, whatever you're into, that is okay, as long as you don't subject me to it.
I like that she's very uncomfortable with the cereal soup question, but she's already she has no problem answering the butt licking question. You are amazing. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
I mean that sincerely.
Jim Heelis says, Scribe Light, a revoked security clearance can look as bad as a dishonorable discharge on your background. Okay.
That still doesn't make you in any way entitled to that information when you're not acting in that capacity anymore. I don't get it.
Even if I granted that, even if I did, which I don't, this is John Brennan. This is not, some unknown person who works in military intelligence who's trying to get a job somewhere and, I lost this. This has been all over the fucking news.
Yeah, it's not a secret.
Anybody that was going to give him a job based on that is still going to give him a job based on that.
Let's see. The statement goes on to say, our signatures below do not necessarily mean that we concur with the opinions expressed by former Director Brennan or the way in which he expressed them. What they do represent, however, is our firm belief that the country will be weakened if there is a political litmus test applied before seasoned experts are allowed to share their views. Okay, whatever else, that makes no sense. John Brennan is not barred from expressing his views. He can go on Fox News right now and say whatever the hell he wants. He can go on MSNBC right now and say whatever the hell he wants. And the president is not able to stop him from doing that, short of him violating the Constitution. And taking away his security clearance is not violating the Constitution. It is completely within the president's prerogative to do so if he chooses. Do I agree with his reasons for doing it? Not really. But at the same time, nobody's made an argument to me that somehow this is preventing John Brennan from speaking or working or making a living or anything else. There's my bit.
I'm with you. I mean, they're making this seem like this is the worst thing that could ever happen to this man. They might as well have thrown him in jail. He can't speak anymore because he lost security clearance he doesn't even fucking need. And sorry, Jim, you've given us so many different reasons why, from the cost of doing it to how it looks. I don't give a shit. He has no need for it. Him and not being able to get another job somewhere with that security clearance or because it looked like a dishonor. No, this doesn't. He's not suffering from this. Literally suffering nothing from it, other than some embarrassment.
There's literally no loss. I mean, other than the fact that he can't see the information, but in what scenario would he need to see it and share it? Like, I don't understand.
Exactly.
I'd be really curious to know, since when was the last time John Brennan was briefed on anything that would otherwise be considered classified?
You'd probably be surprised.
I probably would be surprised, but then to what end? Again, unless you're being brought in as an expert on something that's happening now that you were involved with back then, and you're given temporary clearance in order to be given, the information now or whatever else, and then, rescinded after you're done being an analyst or a consultant. I don't understand what the point is in having a perpetual security clearance you're never going to use again until it's, situational. And then why wouldn't it just be a situational access? I don't get it. Again, like I say, if the motivations behind it, I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't think it needed to be done, but I also don't see what ultimately the big deal is and how they're treating it like he just fired the attorney general for looking into it. This isn't like the Saturday Night Massacre or something. Archibald Coxton just kicked out of the White House by Nixon or something. The guy took away the guy's security clearance of a retired official. Anyway. So there's that.
And again, if somebody wants to show me where this has been an issue and that it's happened as the random unnamed person none of us know about, fine, we can look at that as a separate issue. As it pertains to John Brennan, fuck him. John Brennan. I don't give a fuck.
Let's see. The last two stories I have, excuse me, are kind of potpourri-ish, but they jumped out at me today, so I'll get through those real quick before we get on to MSS news. So, question, because apparently this isn't new news, but it was news to me. If you can't call a Mormon, what would you call him?
Oh, that's funny. You brought that up.
Yeah. Right. Well, the headline is Mormons don't want you calling them Mormons anymore.
What do we call them?
I guess we'll find out maybe. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is embarking on a rebranding effort of sorts. The church, commonly referred to as the Mormons, really wants people to stop using that word.
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, it also wants people to stop using LDS as an abbreviation. From now on, it prefers that people use the church's full name, and when a shortened reference is needed, to just use the church or Church of Jesus Christ. These preferences are contained in a new style guide that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints released Thursday. It states that while the, quote, term Mormon Church has long been publicly applied to the church as a nickname, it is not an authorized title, and the church discourages its use. It also asked that the term Mormons not be used in references to members. Also out, the word Mormonism, which the style guide states is an inaccurate word to use to describe the doctrine, culture, and lifestyle unique to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But the word Mormon is fine to use in proper names like the Book of Mormon or in historical expressions like the Mormon Trail. This struck me so similar to personal pronouns that I couldn't help but make that joke on Twitter today.
Yeah, I'm not a member of your church. I'll call you whatever the hell I want to.
The church. Just call it the church. Well, there's several churches out there. I don't think you're the church.
I feel like because reasons has become like an actual legitimate argument used by prominent figures now, where it's just like, yeah, because reasons. We don't actually have one, and we don't need one. Just do what we say.
Yeah, as so far as I know, or at least as far as the story is concerned, they never sort of clarify what the logic behind this demand is, but I don't think they're going to succeed in it. Maybe amongst their own congregants, perhaps.
Sure, and that's where that kind of statement belongs.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, they don't want anybody else to talk about it.
Yeah, if you don't like when people are calling you what you are, I don't know that PR is the issue you need to be prioritizing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the church has put a lot of work into PR over the years, given that up until, 1972 or something like that, they were an officially racist organization that wouldn't let anyone who wasn't white become anything higher than like a deacon, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, they've had to do a lot of PR work over the years. Thank you, Duck Dog. I think this worked. Well, if your goal was to give me $2, you're correct. If it wasn't your goal to give me $2, I don't know what you were trying to do.
Something went horribly wrong.
Something went awfully wrong if that wasn't what you were trying to do. And the last story I have kind of calls back to a story we talked about many moons ago, but has been in process in the background, apparently. The sales director for Backpage.com pleads guilty to conspiracy to organize prostitution.
Bro.
Yeah. The sales and marketing director of Backpage.com pleaded guilty Friday to conspiring to facilitate prostitution, acknowledging that he participated in a scheme to give free ads to prostitutes in a bid to draw them away from competitors and win over their future business.
This is quite possibly the least surprising story I've ever heard in my life.
Indeed. If you know anything about Backpage.com over its lifetime, this is like, no big surprise there. Although the fact that someone would say, well, I knowingly did this, this was part of our business plan effectively, that's a little surprising in a way. Like, I mean, something like this, where sort of as a natural consequence, people start advertising their services, and it's difficult for a sort of a classified ad site to completely police everything. But to say that someone on the inside was like, yeah, this was part of our acknowledged plan is interesting, at least. Dan Heyer is the second Backpage.com employee to plead guilty in cases in Arizona in which the site has been accused of ignoring warnings to stop running prostitution ads, some of which involved children. Oh, I didn't know that part. That's news to me. Okay. Authorities say the site has brought in $500 million in prostitution-related revenue since its inception in 2004. Jesus. Some of the site's operators are also accused of laundering money earned from ad sales after banks raised concerns that they were being used for illegal purposes. In all, 6 others affiliated with Backpage.com, including founders Michael Lacey and Jim Larkin, still face charges in the case. So there you go with that.
I don't think prostitution should be illegal. The only part I have a problem with that whole story was the child part. That's nasty, and fuck y'all for that. But otherwise, I don't give a fuck. Let people fuck however they want to, for money if they want to. It's none of my business.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
And don't anybody give me no fucking. But what about trafficking? You know what helps trafficking? Making something really illegal where you have to hide everything.
Yeah, and creating a black market by making something illegal that people are going to do anyway. Yeah. This is why
taxes, because it's illegal, dickhead.
Yeah,
make it legal. He pays taxes.
Imagine. Well, I mean, along with like marijuana, imagine if you legalized and taxed prostitution. How much more money this country would have to spend on missiles it doesn't need,
and how much safer they would be overall.
Yeah, if they had like if you had like a medical coverage plan for it, if they could unionize, who knows? You know, be a new gold rush after a fashion. HMS Hood says brothels are the. Oh.
You could advertise anywhere that you're giving out free sex. You just can't charge people for it. That's fucking retarded.
You just can't build a business on what you're good at.
Let's see. Brothels are the solution, says HMS Hood. Sure, if they're legalized and regulated to a degree. Yeah, make sure everybody is tested and everybody's got medical care and all that fun stuff. Anyway, those are all the stories that I had. Do you guys know of anything else exciting going on?
I wasn't really watching the news today.
Okay, Satsu.
No, other than that story you just read about the Mormon thing. I was just looking at that before the stream started. So I was like, that's interesting. Other than that, though, I didn't see anything noteworthy.
Michelle?
I'm trying to think if it happened today. Because I plan to do a follow-up video on the New Mexico compound thing, about every 45th of a second, there's a whole new article about it, a whole new completely spectacular, bizarre story. So I don't know if it came out today that the child's remains have been confirmed to be the son of the guy who was the ringleader there. Was that today? I'm not sure, but
I remember hearing about that yesterday. But yeah, it's within the last 24 hours or so that they've confirmed the identity.
Yeah, that was the main thing that I've been preoccupied with.
Yeah, there was. They were pretty sure from the beginning that's who it was, but they had to do all the DNA stuff, and now, the father is being held in Georgia on other charges, like the kidnapping of the kid to begin with. While, so far as I know, everybody else involved in this is being let to roam free until their trial begins, which is ridiculous.
With an ankle bracelet.
Well, with an ankle bracelet, they have to check in every week or something with their attorney.
Have you killed any new kids this week?
Yeah,
Okay, you can go.
I'm sure that a pair of scissors and a quick bus ticket won't have them out of the way of authorities real quick. So, but I might just be pessimistic. What can I say? Okay, then. Well, then we will move on to MSS News. Guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we will look at as many as we have time for, or as many as the Mormon Church allows us. Let's see. Oh, okay, why not? This comes from Massive Dynamics, another family drama, because I love those. Alabama man guilty of shooting son in fight over really good chicken.
Oh, I did see that headline.
The pair became embroiled in a heated argument as the family watched an NFL game on TV, and the father is now set to be jailed. Okay, an Alabama man could face 2 decades in jail for shooting his son during a fight over chicken wings. This sounds like an internet meme thing. We weren't just, that was what we were talking about just a few months ago. The chicken wings thing with Jeff Holiday or whatever.
Yeah.
John Lewis Caver has been convicted of first-degree domestic violence by a jury at Dallas County Court 2 years after he attacked his son as the family watched an NFL game on TV in their home in Selma. The pair had become embroiled in an argument over the food, and Caver's wife failed in her bid to separate them. Caver, 77, ended up shooting his son in the chest. Speaking after the guilty verdict on Tuesday, District Attorney Michael Jackson, oh, that's unfortunate, told AL.com, oh, that's a very common name. Every time I hear it, I can't help but go like,
Yeah.
The district attorney said, quote, "This must have been some really good chicken." I love legal professionals keeping it classy. I assume the son didn't die since he's being convicted of first-degree domestic violence and not manslaughter or something.
Why is the charge domestic violence? That seems...
Yeah, first-degree assault. Maybe it's a Texas thing. I don't know.
Could be.
Thank you, Duck Dog. My fingerprint scanner wasn't working. I got it to work. Thanks for the help, Scribbles. You're welcome. Enjoy a Dr. Pepper on me. I don't drink Dr. Pepper off of people.
That's a big Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I'm about to say that is quite an expensive Dr. Pepper.
Thank you, Diesel Dave. It's going to take me 4 hours to watch this because Sprint sucks in Wyoming.
Nah, Sprint sucks everywhere. No.
Well, if you're taking us in doses, you can just savor it longer. That's all that means.
That's right. Let it marinate.
Ew. Okay. Like chicken wings. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Who else do we have here? This one comes from Shady Grin. Oh, I hadn't heard this. So, yay, news for me. And if it'll come up, because it likes to take its time. Netflix cancels Michelle Wolf's talk show after less than 3 months.
Because it sucked?
Yeah, you might be right. Let's see. Netflix officially pulled the plug on Michelle Wolf's talk show, The Break with Michelle Wolf. The comedian made a name for herself somehow earlier this year at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where her monologue received a mixed reception. Okay, Mediaite, this is from Mediaite, uses the phrase mix reception. They forgot an ED. So that's them, not me. Received a mixed reception, especially for her jokes targeting Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who attended the event. Wolf had previously appeared as a correspondent on The Daily Show and a writer for Late Night with Seth Meyers. Wolf's controversial brand of comedy continued at Netflix. Was it controversial?
Only in that she's not funny.
I mean, insult comedy isn't exactly controversial. I mean, Don Rickles was the king of it, and I suppose he was controversial after a fashion, but nobody... Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't take much creativity to insult someone as a joke. Let's see. Controversial brand of comedy. Let me get to the point that I left off. She compared first daughter and White House advisor Ivanka Trump to herpes, made a satirical video linking ICE to ISIS while impersonating Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, and celebrated abortions in honor of Independence Day with a parade and marching band.
She's so funny.
God, man, I my sides are splitting as I read that.
Yeah, there must be an impressive intellect behind jokes that complex.
I think, I think I've heard funnier things in third grade.
It's amazing how many people used to be on the Daily Show and then they give them a show of their own and it's just shit.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Saturday Night Live. Like the Daily Show became sort of like the mini Saturday Night Live, where like Stephen Colbert or Steve Carell were sort of the John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd of that show. They went off to do their own things and actually were successful at it. And then everyone else on that show that went off and did something else was just, it was difference between Blues Brothers and like Night at the Roxbury. And I know people like Night at the Roxbury. I'm just saying it's not that.
It's no Blues Brothers.
It's no Blues Brothers. Or Wayne's World. I mean, Wayne's World's pretty good too. Let's see. Do they give any excuses to why they canceled the show? Let's see. Wolf has yet to make a public statement on her show's cancellation. Oh, I'm sure she'll.
I bet it's because she's a woman.
I guarantee it's because she's a woman.
No. It's probably going to be, I want to thank Netflix for giving me the opportunity. Well, she doesn't want to burn any bridges. When she finally makes a statement, if she makes a statement, it's going to be something complimentary or something neutral. It's not going to be anything.
No.
You don't think so?
No. It might be complimentary towards Netflix.
Okay.
But it's not going to be complimentary in the sense that she doesn't complain at all. It'll be she was targeted. People just don't like her because she's a woman and they don't like that kind of comedy from a woman.
Oh, well, on the flip side, Netflix has also canceled Joe McHale's show, The Joe McHale Show with Joe McHale, which premiered in February. So it wasn't, well, of course, he's had more months of time before he got canceled. So,
see, it's sexist.
That's right, patriarchy. Except that Joe McHale's actually funny, can be.
Maybe sexist. He had a penis. That's why he got to go on longer.
I almost read an ad from some sponsored thing as a story. So stop doing that, Twitter, please. Is this true? I guess I'll find out. This comes from The Reaper. The Reaper. Socialist Secrets. Ocasio-Cortez bans press and reporters from speaking events.
Wait, I've been told that that's wrong.
Have you?
That does something with the First Amendment.
Oh, wrong as in it's not something she should be doing.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. I thought that maybe it was like a fake story or something.
Oh no, it's probably absolutely true.
Well, this comes from Sean Hannity's website, so I don't know. Socialist superstar Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez raised eyebrows throughout her hometown Thursday night, banning press and reporters from her town hall event in New York City. That's no longer a town hall event then. I hate to tell you that, or at least in spirit, if nothing else.
That's a secret club meeting.
Yeah. According to the local Queens Chronicle, the Liberal candidate and self-described Democratic Socialist barred journalists from covering the event because her campaign didn't want to make locals, quote, feel uncomfortable, unquote.
She don't want to be recorded anymore.
Yeah, she was saying some off-the-wall ass shit in there. And
she's been saying some dumb shit. She, like, the last thing she said is that none of our leaders were elected. They were all appointed. Yeah. If I was her, I wouldn't have any cameras anywhere near me.
The quote, the rest of the quote, was, we wanted to help create a space where community members felt comfortable and open to express themselves without the distraction of cameras and press. These were the first set of events where the press has been excluded, said her campaign spokesperson. This is an outlier and will not be the norm. We're still adjusting our logistics to fit Alexandria's national profile. Sure.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Seriously, if I was her, I would not let them record a fucking thing I say because she keeps stepping all over her dick. She's a woman, so she's stepping all over her lips, I guess would be the right way to say it.
She keep clit stepping.
Yes.
Oh, this is a thank goodness this turned out the way it was, but this is also a horror story after a fashion. This comes from Scrappy. Couple rescue a baby girl from a hot car in sweltering 88-degree temperatures as her parents lie passed out on the ground after overdosing on heroin.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I hate people.
A construction worker and his fiancee say they rescued a sweating baby girl from a hot car after the child's parents overdosed on heroin. Eric Asher shared photos of his ordeal in Canton, Ohio on social media, provoking outrage from shocked viewers. The 43-year-old says he saw a man and a woman passed out on the ground of a parking lot as he drove past on Friday. He then noticed a baby girl sweating in a car seat as temperatures reached 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Mr. Asher rescued the baby from the open car and gave the child water as emergency services rushed to the scene. Quote, "We were driving down the road and I looked over to my right and I saw the male and female lying on the ground. We later saw that they were purple. The child was covered in sweat. We gave the baby some water. That was our priority." A bystander then called 911. Mr. Asher said the child's mother later rang him to thank him for saving their daughter. She told him they were both heroin addicts and had relapsed after being clean for 2 years. The child is now being looked after by a relative. Thank goodness. Court records seen by Mail Online show the parents have been charged with endangering a child and released on $1,000 bonds. Okay, well, they should never get their child back until they are absolutely clean for at least 5 years, I'd say, because I'm just...
We've been clean for 2 years, but we almost killed ourselves and our child. Oops.
Yeah.
How bad?
I think if you save a kid under those circumstances, you should just legally be allowed to keep it. You're clearly more qualified than the parents already.
You know what? That sounds like a beautiful sentiment, but that will probably incentivize less people to save babies.
That's a good point.
Like, wait a minute. I'm going to have to keep this fucker if I save it.
You saved it. You keep it. No!
But it'll get more dogs saved, probably.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Mommy, this baby followed me home from your overdose parents. Let's see. This comes from New Fate 26. I saw this earlier. Yeah, a couple people sent this to us. Alex Jones of InfoWars destroyed evidence related to Sandy Hook lawsuits, Motion says. Lawyers for the families of 2 Sandy Hook shooting victims are accusing the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and his InfoWars media business of intentionally destroying evidence, relevant to the defamation cases against him, according to a motion filed on Friday in a Texas court. Mr. Jones is being sued by the families of 9 Sandy Hook victims for spreading false claims that the 2012 shooting at the elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut, that killed 20 first graders and 6 adults, was a government-backed hoax, and that the families of the dead were actors. Mr. Jones said on his broadcast last week that he had told his staff to delete material after CNN cited InfoWars content that violated Twitter's policies, according to the motion filed on Friday. Delete material from Twitter? I don't understand.
So they're accusing him of, maybe he did. But from the sounds of it, the reason he did it had nothing to do with destroying the evidence. It was because they were trying to keep from getting in trouble with YouTube.
Or Twitter.
Or whoever, yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Well, now, again, deleting a Twitter post... I mean, I don't know how InfoWars works. If they only post their videos on Twitter and you can get them nowhere else, then maybe. But as far as I understood it, most of the videos were posted either on their website or on YouTube, and then they just posted a link to Twitter.
As far as I've ever seen.
Unless there's been like tweets from Alex Jones making statements that relate to the case, then I suppose that could be true. Like if he tweeted something out that said, Sandy Hook actors, blah blah blah. If that's evidence in his making in the defamation case, then that could be relevant. I could see that. But I don't know. They don't really say what it was. The suit said it was not known how much content had been deleted, but that it included written social media materials and videos. Okay.
So that doesn't necessarily...
Now, again, it depends on why it was done. If it actually was done to make sure they weren't violating the terms of service, you're going to have to look for it elsewhere. You can't say that they were destroying evidence in that case because it's not what the purpose of it was. And I get it still destroy it. But I mean, you have to look at that. That's dishonest.
The other thing too is, how would they know it's destroyed unless they already had a record of its existence?
Yeah, and if you don't know how to archive shit on the internet, you
Yeah.
might want to get somebody who does.
Anyway,
Not that hard.
okay, well, we're into the top of the hour. So, guys, thank you so much for the stories. If we run out of deep topic stuff later, we might come back to it, but we'll see. Thank you so much again. And we're on to YouTube time. We will start with our guest. Michelle, do you have anything new or oncoming you'd like to talk about?
Well, yes, kind of. I was going to do a brief update video since as soon as I did the video on the whole compound in New Mexico thing, it completely blew up. Oh, that was probably poor choice of wording, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's going to take about 3.5 hours to cover all the bizarre things that have happened since then. So I may or may not embark on that soon and try to actually cover everything that's happened since then. That's probably my next project.
Okay. And you want to talk at all about your art, which I sullied yesterday?
You did. I doodle a lot, and that's pretty much all there is to it. I draw impulsively, and I can't stop myself unless somebody actually asks me to draw something. Then mysteriously, I can't find any motivation whatsoever. But yeah, it's just a hobby, but it's something I do on the side some.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I saw that and I was like, I need to do something with that because his arm just. So yeah, that was my.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the Dr. Pepper thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Dr. Pepper thing.
Okay,
And God, whose arm was that? That was I forget his name all of a sudden. It's the guy who was American Werewolf in London, the original. Naughton, John Naughton or David Naughton, whatever his name was.
You can tell me it was Jesus, and I believe you.
I know. Well, you know, this is me. What do I know? Anyway,
It was more creative than the petting the puppy meme, I suppose, that you would normally get.
Yeah, I know. I've seen those things where people like add arms to stuff, and I was like, no, I need something that really works, and that I just lucked out on that one.
It lined up perfectly.
I know, right?
Yeah, it did.
I'm a genius. Satsu, what have you been up to?
More Far Cry episodes, and that's pretty much it. As far as the main channel goes, there's a video that I'm still waiting to get some more information on. Other than that, yeah, that's it. Check out our Far Cry gameplay. It's awesome. We're also streaming tonight, so don't miss that.
What are you streaming tonight?
Far
Cry.
Far Cry. So you know, what mission are you on now?
Well,
going into Jacob's area.
yeah, we killed Faith, allegedly. And now we're going after Jacob. Because Faith is the only one you never physically see. Like, the only encounters you have with her is in your head, and when she dies, it happens in your head. So, allegedly we killed her.
Well, unless she comes back in some kind of DLC, it's doubtful you'll ever see her in the games again, because I can't recall they've ever duplicated villains after Far Cry 3.
Right.
No, they basically don't.
Yeah, references to past games or characters like Herc and all that show up, but otherwise you don't usually see villains directly or other characters show up. Monkey?
Nothing, guys. Sorry. Eventually.
Well, I finished revising my script and did the audio and collected some insert stuff and started assembling my next video. It's a TEDx talk, you know, one of my favorite things. And it's going to be a long one because the audio alone, or my audio alone, is something in the neighborhood of about 20 minutes total, if you just take it by itself. Add in the around 14 minutes or so of the talk. Yeah, it's going to be another one of my lengthy ones. I've always, like, when I do these things, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should only do just like part of it. The problem is, though, as I watch these things, rarely does it seem like it makes any sense for me to just like cut out whole swaths of stuff, because usually it all ties in together. Occasionally I'll luck out and somebody will give their sort of opening thesis statement and then go into some personal anecdote that has nothing to do with anything, and I can just cut that out because it's irrelevant to the overall argument. But in this case, it was like she just went from one ridiculous statement to another, and they were all kind of connected or related back to each other. So once again, I slogged through an entire deal for your entertainment, presumably.
You're a good man.
Well, the quality of myself, I can't say. The sanity of myself is in question. But anyway, so I started assembling that. It depends on how industrious I get tomorrow as to whether I'll have it out tomorrow, but I might. The other complication of my weekend is, remember that family get-together I was supposed to have 2 weekends back or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, that got moved to Monday evening.
Whoa.
So I may not be here Monday evening for the show, as instead of me going to family is coming to me this time around.
Wow.
And so in addition to having to go and visit with them and everything, on the off chance they want to come in and sit down in my apartment for a few minutes, I got to spend the weekend cleaning my place up because I live like a pig.
Well, like a bachelor.
Not like a pig, but I mean, it's, I need to clean up. So anyway, that's what I was working on. And after this, I'm going to try, and I underscore the word try, to find shorter items to work on. I always seem to come after these gigantic projects, and I really need to try to find things that are a little bit briefer. But it's difficult to find things that are brief and interesting because my tolerance for what actually catches my brain these days is so high, given how much stuff I've done on similar topics, that I can watch something that is absolutely ludicrous and just say to myself, oh yeah, I did a video about that 3 months ago. Okay. It's just like, I don't want to repeat myself too much, I'm wondering if at some point I'm going to reach sort of like peak outrage on certain things and just never feel like I need to do another video on it again because I've heard it all before. So anyway, we'll see. Those are the things that worry me. I get that. Yeah. I have such a tough life. Yeah. Anyway, if there's nothing else on the YouTube front, on to internet fucketry time. Did any of us witness any out of the ordinary internet drama today? I can think of one thing, but I'll hold back on that unless you guys mention it.
Let me check the Twitter machine.
Yeah, the only thing I know of is probably the same thing you're going to mention. So.
Ooh, well, I love a mind reader. So what do you think I'm thinking?
No, I shan't say it.
Oh, well, that just no.
Before you do move on, Weibo did give us a video today about the whole Blair White thing too.
Oh, well, Monkey's the mind reader.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't going to do it. I said I'd hold off if you didn't mention it. You mentioned it, so go ahead.
Oh, it's just that she talked about the incident with Blair White and ripped into her a little bit for being a bit SJW on it.
Yeah. The background for those of you that don't know, Blair White put out a tweet yesterday, and I'm paraphrasing. You're saying something to the effect of the person who raped me when I was 18 just popped up on my, I think Facebook, it was.
Facebook, yes.
Am thinking whether or not I should do a video about it or about him or whatever. And Weibo's tweet to her was, maybe you should call the police first before making it public or putting it into the court of public opinion.
Yeah, basically that's what she said. It belongs in the courts, not in the court of public opinion, because what Blair said was that she was going to confront him in a video.
Right, confront him.
Yeah, that was the offending terminology, I think.
Yeah, so Blair blocked Weibo, and then Weibo kind of expanded on that in her video today, basically to say, you shouldn't try to, even if this person did it, you shouldn't slander them in public with like your hundreds of thousands of followers if there's no actual conviction on his record, because you're just going to, stain this, even if he's a horrible person, unless you have some proof, which would require like police intervention, just sort of outing this guy or trying to publicly smear him is not the right way to go about these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
And she's not wrong.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how somebody will say that you're defending a rapist. It's like, no, I'm.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
if he's a rapist, I want him in jail.
All we have is her word. That's it. Like, there's no investigations, no evidence or anything we can go on. She said it happened, and whatever. It's because she's somebody we know or whatever. We're inclined to believe that it's not a lie, but that doesn't mean it's true. We still need to see, and there needs to be looked into. And
well, we've talked about this so many times. The court of public opinion is not where the shit belongs.
Yeah, because she could literally say any person. She could go through her Twitter, Facebook, scroll down and close her eyes and stop and be like, all right, it's this guy. And it wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make a difference at all. So, there's a way to handle that, and that's not it.
Yeah. I don't pretend to know what it's like to go through a trauma quite like that, and I'm not going to criticize anybody's ways of dealing with it or handling that, but it's really difficult to interpret that as anything but completely trashy. It seems bizarre to me to capitalize on your own horrific trauma in that sort of way. I don't know. I think a lot of people said as much, to her when she asked if that was a good idea. It's just a terrible idea.
Yeah.
I don't have problems if she wants to talk about an experience she wants to go through. Was that whole confronting him thing?
Yes.
Unless you're going to call them out to the police, which, by the way, you should do anyway. And I get it. I know, it's traumatic for the victim. I get that. Believe me, I do. My problem is, what about the next victim? Why is your trauma worth them going through it too?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry if that sounds cold, but you don't not report somebody that broke into your house because, oh man, if you know how violated I felt. No, you get the fucking bad people off the street. That's how law and order fucking works. It's the only way it works. Oh, sorry, that just pisses me off so much. You're saying this guy is a rapist, but rather than go to the police, you're going to just tell everyone? Hey, hopefully his next victim hears you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other internet chicane?
I got a couple.
You have a couple?
I have a couple.
Well, let them go, monkey. Don't hold them hostage.
Well, this one actually is a couple. It's NBC News right now is in kind of a pissing match with the Washington Post.
What?
Yes.
About?
The Washington Post put out a video or a story about, let me find it exactly. Was it Bill Nelson? Is that his name?
Real quick. Thank you, Terry Diamantis. There's more ad revenue in making a video than in filing a police report, though. Oh.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. If this happened when she said it did, I don't know if she even had a YouTube channel at that time. So to just make it about that, I think would be wrong. I don't want to ascribe motive there when it could just be she's making a very bad fucking decision.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, Bill Nelson came out and said the Russians were in the electoral system down in Florida. You guys remember this? We talked about it a week or so ago.
Yeah, he mentioned that they were manipulating it, but he wouldn't say how or why or anything else, right?
Yes, and he made a couple of claims, including a claim that Senator Rubio and him had sent a letter to the election officials down in Florida, letting them know that that's what was happening, which is not exactly what their letter said.
Okay.
But anyway, the Washington Post does a fact check, and then they'll give things a Pinocchio score, which I think is 1 to 5.
Okay.
And they gave it a 4 Pinocchios. Bill Nelson's claim 4 Pinocchios.
So it's mostly a lie.
It's basically a fucking lie, yes. And the good folks over at NBC have put out a contrary article saying that Bill Nelson was right. And so there's a little bitch slap back and forth going on between the two of them.
Well, where do they differ on the whole thing?
NBC thinks Bill Nelson is telling the absolute truth, that the Russians absolutely are meddling in Florida elections right now, as per Bill Nelson hinted to. And the Washington Post, or Yeah, Washington Post actually went through what he said, what we know, which basically boils down to they think in 2016 the Russians tried to get into a voting machine. They weren't successful, and yeah, that's what it all boils down to. It's actually past tense rather than we know something's going on right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just neat to have these two news organizations fighting with each other over it publicly, because this is all
Yeah, it
all
is
on Twitter.
refreshing. Yeah.
Like, yeah, get each other. Fuck it.
And
Let's find out who's
entertaining.
right.
Yes.
At least they weren't colluding to put out editorials saying, "Please don't make fun of us anymore."
Yes. At least it's a nice change of pace. We have
Yeah.
Miss America, who's saying that the Miss America Foundation, or whatever they're called, is silencing and reducing her.
Silencing and reducing her. So, like, they're turning down the volume and making her go on a diet?
Oh,
sorry. that was bad. Sorry.
They won't let her talk publicly. Anytime there's a public event for Miss America, Gretchen Carlson and whoever else is in charge of the pageant right now are talking, and they won't let Miss Mund do it.
Well, is she under contract that she can only speak as Miss America when she's allowed to?
I'm guessing so.
Then you shouldn't have signed that contract. I don't know what to tell you.
We had another teacher banging a student, or except for this time it wasn't a student. It was her foster child.
What?
Oh, God.
Is she hot at least? And I mean the teacher, not the foster child.
Hot the teacher. No.
Okay. Well, that's
she's rather frumpy. I'm going to throw that into chat for y'all. You can check it out.
Like
frumpy.
Like Velma from Scooby-Doo frumpy?
But kind of.
Let's see. Yeah, kind of. Well, I could see how she could pretty up with some makeup, I guess. But yeah, she doesn't look very.
Turn them lights off, man. I bet that mouth feels just like a 15-year-old's. I'm telling you.
How old was the foster child?
15. That's why I used that number.
No.
She's 43. She's banging her 15-year-old foster child. And here's my favorite part of this whole story. She agreed to give up custody, but reportedly continued to message the teen on social media.
Mary Kay Letourneau Part 2.
Wait, she agreed to give up custody. Why was that her choice? Why? At that point, no. But
thank you, the Reaper. Everyone have a great weekend. Sleep time before work. I empathize, although mostly on weekdays. So get some good sleep, Reaper.
Yeah, have a good night, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Don't fear the Reaper. I don't fear the Reaper.
I don't fear the Reaper. At this point, I want to give the Reaper a big fucking hug.
Oh.
Let's see. And nobody worry about my little jokes to deal with my pain. And we're good. This is a fascinating part about this story, though, because the headline on this story says teacher accused of having sex with her foster child. And we've seen this over and over again. Anytime it's a woman, it's always had sex with. If it's a guy who did this, it's raped. But they did actually use rape in the article.
Oh.
They actually mentioned statutory rape charges. Like, wow, I can't remember ever seeing that in one of these articles.
Yeah.
That's more deep topic if you guys don't have one.
Oh, I've got advice column stuff up the yin yang, so. Okay,
we'll do that, and we can get to that too. Just so you guys know, there are a lot of your favorite creators and stuff that you may follow on Twitter that are disappearing. It is not necessarily over something they've said recently.
Right.
Twitter is cracking down on people who are making a second account after they've already been banished to the ether. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
We lost Edindro.
Oh, no.
Pretty sure that's what happened with Demotivator Opinion, Tim Blake.
Right.
So yeah, if you guys notice somebody disappear, it's not necessarily something they said today. It's
yeah. Technically,
haven't they purged like a third of the accounts recently? It was some horrifying number.
They are purging a lot.
Yeah, they purged a whole bunch of things they identified as fake accounts or like bot accounts and things like that. And so like they talked about how some celebrities, they went from 5 million followers down to 3.2 or something because of all the fake accounts they split out. But yeah, technically both on YouTube and I guess on Twitter, if you've had your channel or your chat or whatever banned or permanently deleted, you're not allowed to make a second one follow-up. even though that's often done on YouTube because they don't police that nearly as much as you would think. But once in a while they do.
On YouTube, you can get away with it. I mean, that's how Keemstar's there.
Right.
Keemstar doesn't technically own an account.
So does Steve Shives. He's got a second. His account now, I think, is a second account after his first one was kicked off.
Yeah. The other one that I saw today. Oh God, it's not here anymore. Well,
well, I guess disappearing story.
The other one I saw disappeared.
Yeah, so I'm done.
Okay.
It's just gone, and y'all know my memory. I'm sorry. I keep these things by either retweeting them or commenting, and that way I know I can go back through my notifications and stuff and find it. And that one's just gone.
All right. Well, then, how about some wonderful, wonderful advice columns?
Sure, I like advice columns.
And now that we have a female perspective tonight, we'll get some different thoughts maybe. So here is the question. Dear Lords of the Night, as I say, my boyfriend never compliments me. I always tell him how smart, reliable, and honorable he is. Why can't he do the same for me?
Wait. Read those compliments again.
Smart, reliable, and honorable he is.
All right.
So here, that was sort of the preface. Here's the actual story/question. Next to my boyfriend, who is overweight, balding, and mopey, I look like Halle Berry. Okay.
Good start. Good start.
Every chance I get, I tell him how smart, reliable, and honorable he is, and I mean every word of it. At his core, he is a very good man with many fine qualities. It just apparently not in the physical part because you made that up. But he never returns the compliment. I've told him time and time again how important it is to me to hear he likes the way I look. He finally mustered, quote, "I like your pants," unquote. When pushed, he added, "You look fine." Lords of the Night, frankly, I look great. He tells me he loves me and that I'm the most important person in his life. This is lovely to hear, but his lack of enthusiasm is starting to dull my desire to have sex. I want to feel pretty and sexy. I try to look beautiful for him, and I get no reaction. Am I too demanding?
She needs to find somebody as shallow as she is, so that way she can be happy.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to be complimented.
No, but it's the way in which she's, then, yeah.
I just love that her compliment. I mean, nothing that she said, at least as far as I was listening, was about his physical appearance.
Right.
She didn't say, "You're a sexy man." Like, "You're so honorable." How the fuck do you even react to that? Like, okay.
Michelle, what do you think?
Maybe he recognizes the fact that complete nonsensical compliments that mean nothing are more hurtful than silence, and that's why he's not hurting her by maybe saying like, "Well, I mean, you have skin," or something to that effect when prompted.
You can always say, "I like your socks." I mean,
I just love the fact it's like, compared to my boyfriend, I look like Halle Berry. Like, well, you. I hope he never reads this because you just insulted the shit out of his looks.
Look, I get it. If that's something you want, then actually tell your boyfriend, "Look, I wish you would compliment me more."
Yeah,
and he'll likely do it.
I don't want to beg for affirmation.
Just told him, like she stated this verbally to him.
That's not what I heard. Maybe I heard wrong.
I thought that's what he read. I don't know. I might have missed it.
She said that she compliments him and then asks, didn't she say she asks if
no, she said something to the effect of, "I told him how important it is for me to get those type of compliments.
I've told him time and time again how important it is to me to hear he likes the way I look."
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, she said it.
But well, that's it's okay. All right. It depends on what you mean by how you look. Are you talking about, "Oh, this dress looks really pretty on you," or are you talking about, "I really like your eyes"? Those are two different things that both complement how you look.
In my opinion, if you're with a woman who is okay, let's take her at her word. Okay, that he's a really great guy. He's just not the most attractive physically or whatever. But she is. Compared to him, she's like out of his league or whatever. It doesn't even matter if that was a scenario. If you're with a woman and you love that woman, you spoil the hell out of her with compliments. That's how you keep them happy. And and not only that, but if you're being honest about it, hopefully you're being honest about it. It's no big burden or chore to do. You know.
Yeah, if you can't find anything to sincerely compliment her about, maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe not be together.
Do like I do. Lady Monkey doesn't compliment me very often, so I compliment myself.
There you go. That's it, guys. When all else fails, narcissism.
Exactly.
Yeah, narcissism by ego.
I am happier than most people I know, so I'm going to say it works.
Okay, moving
They're
on.
still on. You're so honorable. I'm with you, dude. That is the worst compliment ever.
That is, I mean, unless you are a knight of the realm, that compliment doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, did you see?
So
I read earlier. He asked, "Is her boyfriend Henry the fucking VIII?"
Right? Yeah, you're so honorable. It's like, how many times have you slain a dragon in my name? Okay, dear lords of the night. My husband has admitted to having an affair, but he does not want a divorce. I'm very curious about the other woman. My husband has answered all questions, claimed it was only sex, etc. I just need to meet her face to face and find out if hubby is telling the truth about it being over.
That's not what you want to see.
I'm not looking to hurt her, scream at her, or rant and rave. I just want to meet her, ask about their affair, and put it behind me. Then I can decide whether or not to leave my husband. Should I confront the other woman?
No.
If you're going to stay with him, then you need to go ahead and put it behind you like now. If not, then move on. But that ain't going to help. It's not going to help. If you want to stay with him, going to see her is a guaranteed way to not be with to not stay with him anymore.
Exactly, yeah.
That's,
and if she's hot, just leave him for her, and then everyone wins.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. If she's like much hotter than you, you are never going to be able to live with that. And
yes,
this idea of closure, we have this idea in our society that you have to find closure and that it'll magically make everything. But this is not your closure, lady. There's no such thing. You need to find a way to live with what he did, or just leave.
And if you really want to put it behind you, you need to let him put it in your behind.
There you go. That's how you... Butt sex makes everything better.
I couldn't help myself on that one. It was just like the door had opened with her saying, put it behind her.
The back door.
Yeah.
Mr. Shadow says divorce, period. That's not always the right answer. It's just not. And that's Oprah who brought that into the world. If you guys love each other and this was just him getting his dick wet, there's not necessarily a need for divorce there.
Yeah, I mean, it's between the two of them, and if there's still something to salvage, then they need to both work to salvage it, because obviously something was very, very broken between their communication or something else. Or there's something that can't be fixed, and if you figure that out, then maybe a divorce is what you go for, but not right away necessarily.
Eggplant, that is a good point. Oprah don't have a man. She couldn't lock one down, and so many people took her advice when it comes to all this shit. Look, I'm not saying stay with somebody who cheats on you. That's it's personal. That is for you to decide. And I've seen so many people. I had a friend when I worked at Walmart. Her husband not only cheated on her, moved into his mom's house with his girlfriend.
What?
Yeah. And everybody's like, oh, never go back to him. They have 3 kids, have been together for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I told her when she first told me, I'm like, I am not giving you any judgment on this. But when you go back to him, all of these people are going to be giving you all kinds of shit. That you're the one who has to live your life. Live your life. And that's what it comes down to, guys.
Well, speaking of living your life, we have one from a man this time. It's a rarity. Dear Lords of the Night, I'm a guy in love with 3 women.
Oh, no, you're not.
I've played this dating sim. Go on.
First, there's my second ex-wife. We had the greatest sex and tons of fun, but we also fought over everything and nothing. She's living with a guy, but she recently confessed that she's not happy, that I still do it for her, and that she'd like to try again. And
That's lust. That's not love.
And let me say, she's the best looking woman I've ever been with. My current girlfriend can be a serious ball buster, but the sex is damn near mind-blowing, and I think it might even get better. Though she's not as educated as I am, I enjoy her company. That's right there. You're so honorable. Then there's my ex-girlfriend, the most intense relationship I've ever experienced in my life. She's brilliant, well-educated, and amazing, but the sex wasn't the best, and she's pretty, not beautiful. She wants to start up again. I know I should be putting my focus on my current girlfriend, and that's what I've been doing, being faithful and loving, but I miss my ex-wife. We're so similar, share so many viewpoints, have 2 great kids, but then, to make matters worse, I can't stop thinking about my ex-girlfriend. I fell for her like a brick, very hard, and now that I have an opportunity to get back with her, I want to drop everything and run off with her. Then my ex-wife shows up looking so good, it's hard to resist. I'm so confused. P.S. Now I know this will make you laugh, but with all the confusion, I can also say you're hot. Oh, he's talking about the actual Vice columnist. So the question is, who should he pursue?
None. You derpy bitch.
He should pursue a nun?
He should pursue Jesus or a therapist. Or both. No, don't pursue a therapist. Just Jesus.
He needs to pray to Lord Charlie Sheen to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
He doesn't say how old this guy is, does it?
No, but if he's got 2 kids and he's got 1 wife, I'm assuming at least in his early 30s, if not older.
Okay. Dude, you don't belong in a relationship. Just hook up.
Yeah, he needs to find Jesus. Go and find
Jesus?
Call your local lawn service, ask to speak to Jesus, and see if he can help you out. Because you got issues.
Actually, he needs to ambush arrange a foursome.
Oh God, they would kill him.
No, they would kill him because they'd all show up and go like, "Who the fuck is that?" You know.
Did you notice 2 of the 3 women he's really enamored with are bitchy to him? His current girlfriend and his ex-wife. His current girlfriend is a ball buster.
Yeah, well, some men, not all men, but some men like a woman who is a bit of a challenge.
Hey, baby.
It gives you something to feel like you've conquered after a fashion.
I understand that. I like challenging women, but I would never describe my wife as a ball buster.
Yeah, that is a little bit extreme. Yeah, she's a bit of a ball buster. Like I thought he was referencing the quality of sex at first. I was like, she's a ball buster. I was like, holy shit.
No, Bear. Our viewers aren't sending these.
No. All I'm doing is these are from Elle magazine. I just add our thing to the front to give it a sort of personal touch. I couldn't even imagine the kind of insane, crazy nonsense our viewers would send us as advice column material that wouldn't be like just complete joke material. But
somebody suggested, it was Flair Fritz, that we set up a email to have people send that in.
That's right.
We haven't had any other interest in that, so I haven't really done it. But if they wanted to, hell, I will take your problems and tell you how fucked up you are. I should have been a life coach.
You should put up a poll on Twitter and say if we created a sort of show email address for advice or such things, would that be of interest to our audience? I have a feeling that'd be a resounding yes, but just on the off chance. We should get a poll result just for a permanent record kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll do one more here, and then we'll move on to chat time. Dear Lords of the Night, several months ago, I informed the guy I'd been dating for 2 years that I was 5 weeks pregnant.
Ooh.
He snapped at me to sort it out. He said he already had kids and was, quote, not prepared for more. I'm 33 and have no children, and he's 39. I want the child very much, and I ended the relationship. I began dating a new man, and I somehow let him think he's the father.
Really? How do you somehow do that?
Oh, this gets better. Yes, call me names. Okay, liar and potentially criminal. But anyway, moving on. The new guy is my age, and he has been here every day. paid all my prenatal bills, scratched my back, and he's happily planning our future life together. Now that I'm on maternity leave from work and have time to think, I realize what a big shit I am. Oh, only now? After taking the money?
Jesus.
How do I name how do you name your baby?
That's the ultimate question.
That's the question?
Hold on. No, she's got a series here.
Okay.
How do I name my baby? How do I fix this mess? I feel bad, but I really have no romantic feelings for this new guy.
Are you serious?
Holy fuck. Do I tell my former boyfriend, the man I possibly still love, that I kept the pregnancy and will give birth soon? The baby won't look like the new guy. So do I tell him I was already pregnant and that the child isn't his? This will kill him. OMG, I messed up so much. Or do I just not confess to anyone? Please help. I'm really scared now.
I want to hear the
You should
response
be.
on that one.
You want to hear the response?
Dude, hold on real quick.
Yeah.
This is the perfect scenario for a why did he kill that woman story.
Yep.
I just hope this is the ex-girlfriend of the guy who wrote in last.
That would be perfect.
All right. So, okay. Once you guys are done, I'll read the real response.
You're a cunt. You need to tell the real dad that that's the real dad. You need to tell this poor bastard that not only do you not love him, but it's not his kid.
Yeah.
And you need to get your life sorted out because you are a man. I know I use the word a lot, but you are a cunt. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. If this is how you're starting out your child's life, you're going to be a horrible mother going into it.
You also, if you'd be so kind, let the new guy give him a pregnancy book so he understands how those time frames work.
Also, refund him the money he paid
Yes.
for your and the other guy's problem.
Jesus.
Okay.
Men are scum, by the way. There's a huge problem with toxic masculinity. I want to remind everybody that we are the scums of the earth.
So here is how, the column on Elle magazine is called E-Gene, as an E like a abbreviation of something. Okay, this is her response. This is a celestial command. For the baby's sake, speak up. Neither man will like the news, or possibly both will, but each will require time to recover and to think about his own future. However, darling, it won't kill them. Cut to the chase with a simple quote, I want to tell you something that may surprise you.
That may surprise you?
That sounds like something a news reporter says before they cut to commercial.
Oh my God.
You know, it's like, your girlfriend's pregnant, but the truth may surprise you after this.
Oh my God.
Research shows that long preambles only add to the distress of the recipient and state the plain facts. In the case of the second chap, he may have already suspected something was amiss, or he may be in deep denial since the math, you'd have to be at least 5 weeks along when you met him, doesn't quite add up. I receive so many letters from women who are distraught because they can't have a baby. My wish for you is to relish this joyful time, not fear it. The two men may be the best, most upstanding, kindest, tenderest men in existence, or they may be scalawags. Who are you talking to?
Why is she
What the
taking
fuck
shots at the guys?
Holy
Jesus.
shit.
Okay,
She's
look.
a con artist. She took money from a man who was innocent of the crime of knocking her up and didn't tell him about it while he's paying for her fucking medical care.
And she still may have feelings for the first guy who told her, "I deal with your baby."
All right, well, almost done. A couple more sentences. Either way, rely on yourself. Join a new mothers group. Find one through your local college, clinic, church, or hospital.
Yeah, college, this lady. Okay.
Yeah, for a support network. Good luck. I believe you can bear down much more opposition than you'll meet with. What the fuck?
Okay. I want to address her thing that this won't kill either man. That the poor bastard who thinks this is his kid and is excited about it, and he finds out it's not his. It could lead him to kill himself
Or her.
You nasty bitch, you dirty bitch.
Yeah, that's fucked, yo. That is so fucked.
That's her advice. You're going to dig in on the guys when in this situation she is the only villain.
Well, the first guy, I mean, he has when somebody tells you, "Hey, you got me pregnant," and your answer, deal with it.
Yeah,
he's an asshole.
That is
an asshole.
jerky. I'm not gonna deny that, but he didn't
But
like manipulate or lie to people.
Her,
yeah.
This reminds me of the Chris Rock joke. Chris Rock talking about the lies men and women tell. He said, like, guys will lie and say, "Yeah, I'm hanging with the boys." Women will lie and say, "This is your child." Look, you got your hat. That's what I love. What a cunt! Oh my god! I wish bad things on her. Not on her child, but on her.
Yeah.
I hope she steps on a Lego every time she steps.
I wish you to eternal Lego stepping.
The one thing that does resonate with me, though, is the lady actually did say something like, for the sake of the child, like you have to do something for the sake of the kid. And if there's one thing that can actually turn really shitty people into decent people, it's, prioritizing their kid over everything else. So maybe.
I
don't know. If she went into this situation as old as she is, not having the basic values of honesty and integrity, before getting pregnant and everything else, I don't know that putting the child first in this situation. I mean, I have seen people do amazing transformations in their behavior and their attitudes in life, but usually that happens between 18 and 25 or something, not after you're already in your 30s on your second relationship and now you're pregnant.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if the two guys are different colors.
I don't know. She said the baby wouldn't look like the new guy, so there must be something at least relatively distinctive between the two.
If they were the same color, you would go, well, that's just in my back. That he looks like my great grandpa. Yeah. But if he's white and the baby turns out Chinese, you can't really pull that line.
And it's a birthmark. It's a big, large birthmark. He's fine.
My shit is so tight it fucked up his eyes like that.
Oh
shit. Oh my god.
Oh, there goes my monetization. Thanks a lot.
I channeled some cryptic there. Sorry.
All right. Well, on that note, such as it was, chat, it's your time. If you have questions, comments, conspiracy theories, if you'd like to confess being pregnant and that Irate Bear is the father, put that in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, put plenty of question marks after it so we know it's for us. And otherwise, apparently Bear's going to get Monkey pregnant now.
We have to have that biology talk, Bear.
Yeah. There's that whole species things. Bears and monkeys don't really. Yeah. I don't think that quite works.
Thoughts for the dryer says, tell him before the guy's name's on the birth certificate. Absolutely.
No shit. Yeah, that was the other thing I was worried about. It's like, is she gonna take advantage of this guy for the rest of the next 18 years or something?
And she doesn't even like him.
Yeah, she doesn't even like him, but she's willing to take his money for the prenatal care.
She's
using that guy. That guy's heart is going to be smashed in a million pieces.
It is. Yeah, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But this, what really the sad reality of that too is this is one of those people where that happens to, and he's like, I got issues with women or whatever, and then people, they talk shit about him and say, look at this fuck boy who, who treats women like this or thinks that he should be entitled to X, Y, and Z or whatever because, or the way that he talks to women or treats women because of the way that they treated him. And they're just like, they don't take into the account, like somebody did that to him. It's not always the case, man, but a lot of these dudes out here did super unbelievably dirty. And they're just like, fuck this shit. I'm done.
Ebony Williams says, how do I let my parents down gently when they ask for money just to have it?
Don't let them down gently. Just tell them no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things to learn in life is that it's okay to tell people no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and telling a family member no. I mean, I don't know the circumstances. Like if my sister came to me and said, I'm running short this month in order to pay rent. Can you help me out? I wouldn't hesitate, because she's my sister, and we'll look out for each other, that kind of thing. I wouldn't make it a habit. Because moral hazard applies. But in this instance, it's like just to have it. If they don't need it for something, then no. And if they don't need it for something, then no.
Yeah, man. And it's the worst thing people do too in that situation. Even people who can say no, is they'll say no and apply some like stupid ass, not real excuse to it. And then you just be like, no.
Yeah.
Like. Because the more realistic you keep it in that situation, like the easier it'll be for them to accept it.
And it'll also keep them from asking next time.
Exactly.
Thoughts from the driver says, Ebony, give them a list of chores to do.
Right.
hey, because like if you want it, I got some car
You're gonna have to earn it.
Yeah.
Like, look, y'all raised me on this principle, so don't look at me like that.
Bear asks, why won't you love me, Monkey?
There, you know I love you, man.
Oh,
You know I love you.
Because you're a filthy whore and you're not worth loving.
That's Satsu, not me.
Wait, Monkey is having my baby. Bear, what makes you think Monkey's the woman of the group?
I'm all man, baby.
That's right. We're not quite sure what you are, so I think you're probably the mother. Bear.
Prius asks us, what's the best way to have sex? With someone else.
With someone you're attracted to. Let's put it that way. That helps out a lot.
You hit it from the back. That's less important.
Indeed. Turn out the lights, climb on top, slap it, let it wiggle around.
Wow, you guys make it sound so enticing.
It's just sex.
Well, maybe I just put it up on a pedestal more so than you guys. That's all I got to say.
Iris says I meant position. I know what you meant. We're just having a little fun.
Yeah, I knew what he meant too.
You, man. Everybody has a different favorite.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Try them all and find out which one you like the best.
My favorite is reverse cowgirl. I like being able to see everything.
Let's see. I don't see a lot of questions. I see a lot of people trying to be funny. Everybody's trying to be funny. We're the only ones that are allowed to be funny. You guys are.
Oh, are we supposed to be funny? Shit.
Well, you're funny looking.
Yeah, but they can't see that.
Well, yeah, I can imagine it. They can imagine it too.
I'm a pretty man, but I'm all hunched over and shit because I'm messed up. Why is nobody perving on Chat-Mort?
Well, she already said that on her Twitter the other day that she was going to start like doing crazy stuff for people that were sending her creeper questions and things. So the word's out.
No. That is, in fact, not at all what I said.
Oh, okay. So creeper questions are okay then.
That is also not.
Okay. Well, please clarify.
Okay. No. So that was one specific instance where I freaked out because somebody sent me something and I should have known better, but I clicked on it at work and my boss saw it.
Right.
Oh.
And that was the most mortifying thing that's happened to me in many moons. So,
Is your boss male or female?
my boss is male.
Did he take it
And-
okay?
Well, later in the day, he asked me like what color and size of company shirt I wanted when they do the next order. So I think we're cool.
Okay, then.
Well, then, don't ask, don't tell.
Mr. Shadow says I'm sounding funny. I'm in a lot of pain, guys. I'm doing my best. I'm sorry if I sound wrong.
Yeah, we need to get a pair of pliers and get that tooth out of his mouth.
Tooth is not even bothering me at all right now, man.
Oh, okay.
This is the old standbys.
Cody Fry asks, a complete ambush question. Who's been your least favorite guest on the show? My least favorite guest?
God, I would have to go back through everybody we've had.
I don't count. I haven't been on long enough yet.
Yeah, no, you weren't on the list.
Okay.
My least favorite.
Whoever it was, it would be from lack of interaction.
Yeah, that's really the only metric that I could. Well, I mean, I can imagine an instance where we had something like that happen. I don't remember who it was.
You know what? My least favorite guest is extremely drunk Gutenberg.
Yes, yes, that is probably the best answer to that situation. I mean,
I love Goot when he's even with just a slight buzz, but once he gets past that, like, just shut up, dude, shut up.
Yeah. I guess maybe the better way to put it is like the least enjoyable guests are the ones that don't participate.
Yeah.
Or don't, and it's not necessarily. I mean, some people are nervous, or some people don't know how to, that kind of thing. But regardless, and it doesn't make them a bad person or anything. It's like, well, there are some good guests, and there's some that are not. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, just Gutenberg. The answer is Gutenberg. So next time you see Gutenberg, just tell him he's our least favorite guest. That's fine.
He's also one of my favorites, though, to be honest.
Let's see. Ari Bear says, question for Chat-Mort, Abby or Brittany?
Yes.
There you go. She's going to take them both.
Ebony says, who's the sluttiest Lord of the Night? Well, Monkey. Well, I don't know. I mean, Satsu will have shower sex with somebody he's just met, so.
Well, me
Hold
and
on.
Satsu are
That
both
happened
married.
one time, and
Yeah,
I
sure it
married
did.
her.
Sure.
So-
yeah.
Technically, at this point, I think it has to be Scribe
Why is that?
because we're both committed. You're not, so you can be slutty.
Yeah, but I'm not.
It's default, dude. You got it, slut.
I wish I was. I wouldn't be so lonely.
Oh God, what else do we have up here? Handsome but hunched over. Does that mean you're a good-looking version of Quasimodo? Yeah, you can say that.
Aw.
Moto. Oh, there's the next meme. We need somebody to put monkey's face over a Quasimodo hunchback deal. Monkey Moto. Jordan 250 if you're out there. There you go.
Jacob says you'd hate me on stream. It depends. If you talk, you'd be fine. You know, it's actually with the. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt again.
Of course you do.
I do. I don't know why I keep telling you that. I think I'm trying to make the slut feel better.
Just
So
get on with
maybe
it.
I'll-
Get on with it.
One of the reasons that I've invited like Hammer and Polydub on after watching them on Minions of the Zoo is just how interactive they are the whole time, and they've been great guests for us. The same with Chaos. But yeah, those of you who don't talk, you would not make good guests. You have to talk more.
So I'm going to ask a question in lieu of someone else doing it, and so I can start an argument between Michelle and Satsu. Michelle, what's your favorite anime?
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Or at least right now.
I mean, I'm completely obsessed with My Hero Academia, but that's just because it's going on right now.
Yeah, that would be my answer if I had to say right now. It's
Okay.
definitely.
No,
That's a good debate.
no fighting them. Okay.
Ha!
Oh.
You lose, Scribe.
Again. Let's see. Chaos Eve says, I heard my name. If we say it 3 more times, do you jump out of a mirror and kill us?
How you doing, Chaos?
Let's see. Let's see. Can you guys say hi to Ileana?
I'm trying to make sure that is Ileana. If it is, hi, Ileana.
Ileana?
Hello, Ileana.
I knew
Hi.
a girl named Ileana in college. I think she was Polish, or at least it was of Polish descent or something.
Of course you did, slut.
I didn't know her like that. Well,
Okay.
I knew her a little bit like that, but not like that.
Yeah, okay.
Shut your slut mouth.
No, I mean, I tell you what, I was the shy, never talked to a girl, nerd kid throughout my entire years of living, and then I went to college, and I didn't suddenly have like some kind of Parker Lewis like can't lose transformation or anything, but yeah, once you get to a place where nobody knows you and you don't feel like you have the baggage of living in the same place your entire life that sort of defines how you're supposed to behave around people, a lot of things can change really quick.
It's very liberating.
Yeah, like becoming president of the Bondage Club.
Harbos, his question there, that was a story we didn't get to. It is something I read about today. He said, just heard CNN and other media sites are suing for access to jurors' names and addresses in the Manafort trial. If true, do you think that's witness tampering?
Not if they wait until after the trial's concluded to try to contact them, which they couldn't do right now because, well, I mean, if they tried to do it while the court is still in session and the deliberations are still going, then they might be in trouble. But
the judge said he's keeping it sealed. The different media places are saying there's no reason to, and he came back saying that they've already gotten shit. What's the word I'm looking for? Threats. Thank you. Threats against the judge, who now has federal marshal protection, and against the jurors. So,
which is weird. Who would be threatening the judge? I mean, I guess I can imagine. I mean, I can imagine quite a bit, but I mean, over a tax case, and the stakes.
You have to remember, though, that's not what this is, Scribe. That's what's legally going on, but that's not what it is. This is about the Trump and Russia. It's really not. But
let's see. Shady Grin wants to know, Chat-Mort and Satsu, what is the most overrated anime in your opinion?
All of it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really think anything is overrated. I mean, they all generate their fan base based on their own merits. So I always think it's weird when people are like, that show's overrated because I specifically don't like it. I'm just like, well,
Yeah. The only things I could ever go with are things that aren't actually that bad. Like, I don't think that Naruto or One Piece have a proportionate amount of hype. Like, I think that they're overhyped, but that doesn't mean they're bad. That just means I think there's other stuff that's massively underrated that probably deserves as much attention. Like, it's not that those things are necessarily bad whatsoever.
You're both wrong. The answer is Steven Universe.
Okay. That's fair.
I don't even know if that counts as anime. Whatever. I know it's not actually anime, but
Satsu, when are you going to stop being a disappointment to your mama and finally watch Last Man?
You know, my mom called me and had a lecture for me about that show. I don't know. But I've been such a non-disappointment to her lately. I figured I'd switch it up. So.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, guys.
Let's see. Judge Death says, I hear Ileana, I think Marvel's magic. Yeah. Ileana Rasputin. Yeah, Colossus's.
I like that
sister.
name.
Ileana?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really nice name. Yeah, magic from she was in the New Mutants, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if she's been portrayed on film or in TV yet. I wonder if she would have shown up in the New Mutants movie, which I think they're still going to release, but probably not as with as much fanfare now that Marvel's got the X-Men back. So,
is he quiet to anyone else?
No, I can hear.
Who, me?
Yeah, you just sounded.
Oh, I might have drifted off there, like gotten further away from my microphone.
There you go. That's better.
I was leaning back. I should learn to lean in.
Midnight in Exile says, heard Satsu's mom is hot. Where can I verify this? On the wedding video.
There you go.
She's on there. And your mom is very pretty. And
If you hear furious clicking on my end, it's completely unrelated.
What are you clicking?
Nothing.
Eric says, thanks, guys. You got me laid. Just
You're welcome.
now? Yeah. Because of Reverse Cowgirl?
I hope you do it in that, man. It's a beautiful view. Let me just throw that out there. Yeah, Sith, I've taken my painkillers.
Let's see. Stunlock Joe says, Fat Joe taught us to lean back, so it's fine.
Lean back.
What other questions,
Sound like some
guys?
shit Stunlock was saying.
Yeah. Oh, they're all talking to each other. Oh, no, because you guys said hi to her. Whoa, that was it? Oh.
Damn.
Okay. Hi.
So we said hi and then she jumped on the dick.
Wait, dude. Can we say it a couple of times and you save it up and use it for the weekend?
Yeah, just stock them up.
Hi, Ileana.
Hi, Ileana. Oh, do you want me to get her all wet for you? Wait.
Oh God.
How you doing?
Actually, you know what? I think now every time we see Eric, our greeting to him should just be, hi, Ileana.
Hi, Ileana.
That'll make his night every time he comes on the show.
Why don't you take those panties off and
Oh boy.
Okay, all right. No ASMR stuff. You want to start a channel over on Pornhub? Do that.
That's not porn. What are you talking about?
It's suggestive, and by suggestive I mean explicitly sexual.
There's nothing explicitly sexual about taking your panties off.
Is that what you want me to get you? Am I going to get you a little wet or something? Like what?
No, Monkey's about to
she
do the
could be
laundry.
taking a shower. I bet you take your underwear off more to shower than you do for sex.
You're absolutely right.
I know I am.
Would you stop depressing Scribe? Jesus fuck.
Let's see. Stunlock Joe says Eric is getting back at the Russians for going in the back door by way of Eliana. What?
Oh boy.
Oh my God. Watch the video, the wedding video. Satsu's mom got some attitude. She does. She is funny as shit. What was the video she was on with you, Satsu? The stream.
Which stream was that?
You guys should watch it. She actually was on a stream with Satsu and Squishy once, and she is an amazing woman. She is funny as hell, and you should watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, she's very
Irate Bear asks Satsu, recommend an anime I can binge tomorrow. Well, Trigun, dude. Trigun.
I got you, Bear. Give me a moment.
Ebony Williams says, Scribe, you bastard, I asked you a question. My parents were married, thank you very much. You want to find a bastard? Look over at that monkey guy.
That's right.
You asked me a question. I don't know. There's so many things. You're gonna have to try again because whatever the question was, post it again because it's lost somewhere in the stream.
Try again, motherfucker.
Irate Bear says, I asked Satsu, you sluts.
Well, he said, wait a minute, he's gonna think about it, and I'm gonna offer my opinion because it's my channel. So, bugger off, as the British would say. Harvest Marva says, your favorite TV or movie villain who truly deserved retribution or redemption.
I don't think a good villain deserves redemption.
What about Spike from Buffy?
No, I didn't like him with the redemption line. I didn't. They tried to make him Angel, and that's not who he was.
I only bring that up because the first villain that I knew was kind of a fan favorite and did heroic things that you would have some knowledge of.
The best part of that, I mean, his final line in the whole series is the best thing that they did with that whole storyline. But that storyline itself was stupid.
I know the TV villain or movie villain who deserved retribution. Kaiser Soze.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know about Kaiser Soze?
No.
Oh my God. All right. Well, never mind.
I'm trying to think of the best one. The only one that comes to mind is Hans Gruber.
Wait, you think he deserved redemption?
No, it said or retribution or redemption.
Well, you know, Simon tried to do it in Die Hard 3. His brother.
My favorite villain, though, the one who deserved what he got, my favorite villain in all of fiction land is Arthas. Arthas,
okay. Yeah.
From World of Warcraft. He is the best storyline, and it is the way they ended it was perfect.
You know, my favorite TV villain, and it was only on a single episode of a show. It's an episode of Law and Order, where Stone, D.A. Stone, went to the first season Law and Order kind of thing. He goes up against basically his Moriarty, which is funny because the actor's name is Moriarty. But the character's name is Philip Swan. And he was a guy that Ben Stone put in jail several years ago, but now evidence has suddenly surfaced that kind of disproves Stone's case against the guy. And so he asked for a retrial, and he represents himself and gets to interrogate Ben Stone on the stand as he's trying to one-up the guy he's been hating after all these years. And part of the story was based on the Billionaire Boys Club. The guy who murdered the people in Billionaires Boys Club. But the actor who played Philip Swan, I can never say his name. It's like Serbian or something, but he's a great actor. That episode by itself is just like this little capsule of awesomeness because you got these two actors, and the guy playing Philip Swan did his best Ben Stone impersonation essentially when he was doing his lawyering. It's amazing to watch. It's a really cool episode. If you like those characters, that episode's great. Let's see. K-Rick says, Scribe Light, now you have a movie to watch with Monkey then. Well, yeah, but Usual Suspects is really well known, so I'm not gonna make that a movie you should have watched.
I have seen that movie. I just didn't remember the name.
Okay. And Stonelock Joe says, how you not laying into him over Kaiser Soze like you did Reservoir Dogs? Because honestly, Reservoir Dogs is a better movie than Usual Suspects. I like Usual Suspects, but the problem with Usual Suspects is once you know the twist, it's really hard to watch that movie again or any more than maybe one more time to sort of try to catch all the little hints and things. But outside of that, yeah, I've only watched Usual Suspects, I think 3 times in my life. Reservoir Dogs, I've seen dozens of times.
I was just followed on Twitter by an account named a Dendro Fan.
Oh, Okay.
The description says not actually a Dendro fan account. Ed is wrongfully accused of something that he doesn't know what it is. Ed, not Ed. Sorry,
Okay.
not Ed.
I'm assigning chat to ask our guests some questions before we end in the next 5 minutes because you've been showering us with attention, but not enough to our lovely guests, and that's part of the deal. I know. You're just gonna have to take it.
Right.
That's not good.
I want to remind everybody we will be on 2 Cents Plus here in about 20 minutes playing Far Cry 5. Don't forget to come watch. How have you enjoyed your first time on the show, Michelle?
I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Good. Yeah, I remember. I think I invited you to come on a while back, but you were nervous. And I was like, "Oh, that's okay, that's okay." So I wasn't sure if I'd convince you this time, but I'm glad that you joined us.
Well, I am too. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Let's see, and I guess BG says, "What's your favorite type of porn?" Of course he does.
Asian.
Nice.
There you go.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, me and her are going to get along fine. What was the issue, Scribe?
What was the issue?
She's an anime fan. It had to be.
Well, I didn't think there was an issue. I just thought that maybe you'd have some sort of conflicting opinions about anime, but apparently you don't because you both share the same brain. So what do I?
Clearly, great minds think alike.
Yeah, apparently so. Anime is this sort of alien nation that I just don't have any knowledge of, save for like 3 specific animes that my roommate made me watch in college. And that was Hellsing, Trigun, and Evangelion Neon Genesis.
I've been thinking of it.
Encourage you to watch more?
Huh?
Those didn't encourage you to watch more?
Well, Evangelion certainly did not the fuck encourage me anything because it was so convoluted and backwards. Trigun was great. I like Trigun. Vasho the Stampido. But once it was over, it was pretty much over. And then Hellsing, again, once it's over, it's pretty much over. And anything that they try to do with like prequels or sequels and stuff, I wasn't interested in because all the stories of the originals were kind of relatively concise and done with. So it's like, I mean, I've seen a lot of anime films. Like I've seen Akira, of course, Golgo 13, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, Poyo. I saw a couple of years ago. I guess that's marginally anime, I guess, but anyway. Let's see. Who? Belias Fire says, "Who are you? Where am I? How did I get here?" Or are you Admiral Stanton or whatever, Ross Perot's running mate? That was his big thing when he did his first debate. He said to the audience, "Who am I? Why am I here?" And for a second, I thought, "Oh my God, this guy's got a sense of humor about his situation, being this guy that's just kind of pulled out of nowhere to be a running mate in the presidential campaign." No, he didn't know shit. He was all over the place, unfortunately.
But his outburst at that time was perfect. It
was absolutely perfect. It was like, I'm self-aware that you guys have no idea who I am, and then he just ended to ramble. So yeah, but it's still endearing. Midnight Exile says, "Michelle, how do you like dudes with tentacles on their head?"
I mean, I'm not one to judge. That's fine, I suppose.
Do you like Cthulhu?
I suppose.
Do you like H.P. Lovecraft type stuff?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Let's see. Stacy Garner says, "Scribe like watch Hellsing Ultimate." I don't care. I like the original. The original's fine.
You know what I've been really into lately?
Squishy?
Oh, but I need to go to Pornhub.
Right.
No, what?
No, I've been watching a lot of sports anime. Like baby. I think it started with Baby Steps. That was like the first one I watched, and that one was about tennis, and that's like one of the best shows I've ever seen. And then I just started watching the show about badminton. It's an anime about badminton, and it's fucking good.
Okay, no, you lost me.
It's good.
About badminton.
Yeah.
It's fucking because there's like they make it all intense and action like the way you can only do in an anime, and it's like,
yeah, I guess
it's interesting.
Okay. Well, then I want a curling anime.
I'm pretty sure somebody could make one and make it all crazy and shit.
Yeah.
With how long it takes the what's it called, the puck
the rock
to go down. That would be 9 episodes of just watching them.
Yeah, it'd have fire behind it and shit and fucking.
All right, so Ebony wants to know, Michelle, Snickers or Milky Way?
I don't really like chocolate.
Oh,
Oh, damn. Hold up.
that's odd. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought this friendship
so-
was going to be something special.
When did you defect from communist Russia?
No, I'm really curious here, and I'm sorry if this is too personal, but how do you deal with your period? Every woman I know eats chocolate during that time. Do you have something else?
I sleep.
Oh, okay.
I don't eat things. I just stay unconscious. It's fine.
All right, yeah, I wasn't meaning to be too personal there, but that's an interesting problem.
Well, on the subject of Michelle's PMS management strategies, we've come to the top of the hour.
That was science.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Scientist Monkey. Chat, thank you so much for joining us, as you always do every night. You guys are great, and we love you, and you're the best audience on the internet, if not the entire known universe. Moderators, thanks for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the best behaved in relative terms that we could ask for. Everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. It will be going into Dr. Pepper funding. I have a little bit more Jack Daniels left over, so I have some Pepper Jacks on the way this weekend, I'm sure. And remember, guys, right after the stream, within the next 15 minutes or so, go to 2 Cents Plus to watch Monkey and Satsu run around in the outback, I guess, of Americana and shoot up some innocent cultists.
Innocent cultist.
Oh, no, the one we're after this time is a straight douche.
Oh, well, they're just practicing their religion, and so that's what Monkey and Satsu are doing. They're being the government
We're
jackboot.
practicing our aim, so everybody wins.
There you go. And let's see. Satsu, Monkey, thank you for joining me as always. Michelle, I really appreciate you coming on and joining us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself thoroughly.
Good. I'm glad, and hopefully we'll have you back in the near future.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
And so remember, guys, tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel at the usual time. And other than that, everyone, your lives make us sad. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Let's see. Oh, I have my BDSM book open again.
Scribe's trying to find a secret word.
Yeah. Let's see.
The secret word will be revealed shortly.
Yes.
Please stand by for secret word.
Secret word incoming.
Secret word inbound.
Okay. Now, with that much preamble, today's secret word will be placed in the chat moment.